Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam, thanks for hanging out with me again today, and on today's video we're going to be building up a kit that I've had here for, I don't know, like 7 months now. So we're finally getting around to building the Comical Hornet. This is on the WRO2 CB chassis. Yeah, CB. So basically, WRO2 had a few different variations, but it's basically the Wild Willie 2 type chassis, just with some modifications. So the CB is for the Comical Buggy series. So essentially, they've taken off the big side rails and put on basically Nerf bars instead. So kind of the biggest difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything out of the bench, take a look at that, and then we're going to kick off the build, get the build done in a photo montage, and as soon as we're done with that, I will come back to you with the finished chassis. Alright guys, so here we have the finished chassis. Everything went together just fine. Obviously, with replacing those sidebars with this whole Nerf bar setup, goes together a little bit different than I'm used to. And this step here for putting the Nerf bars on is one of the most confusing steps, but it's not really confusing. You just have to kind of take it all in. This is one of those steps where Tamiya has put in a lot of stuff into one block of instructions. So there is this part, 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 these screws, these screws, these screws, everything goes in here and everything goes in here. And you're looking at this like, what? It's not hard. You know, it's just, you know, normally in the Tamiya manuals, there's one or two processes or, you know, areas you're working on in one step. But whether it was just the way the layout worked out or where they were injecting this step into the WRO2 manual and they just like, I don't know, put it all in there. But again, nothing hard about the build. Everything went together fine. There was one issue, and we'll talk about that here in a minute, that I did run across that didn't make sense to me and had to go back and fix something. But overall, it, like I said, went together great. I did take apart the whole transmission, replace the bushings with the bearings. You know, even if I only run this thing once, I always have that peace of mind of no matter when I take this thing off the shelf to run it, it's got bearings in it. I don't have to worry about it. And later on down the road, whoever gets this from me when, you know, I croak and all my stuff is up for auction, you know, nobody has to worry about it. It's got bearings in it. Just refer back to this video. So this actually came with the TBLEO2 speed controller. So this one's been hanging around for a while. They haven't had those speed controllers out for a while, which worked out well because it works with the stock switch location and it's not going to interfere with anything. Now, I do have to move all these wires. I'm sure somebody's out there going, "Dummy, why'd you put all those wires there?" Because that's the other weird thing about this kit is there is the kit instructions for mounting the driver, and then there is the actual addendum instructions for the driver and mounting the driver, and those two things are different. So when it goes to the driver figure for these, look to that addendum in there that shows you how to build the driver, paint the driver, all that stuff. And in the bottom of that is how to mount this to the thing, or to the chassis. And, you know, I just have to move wires. It's no big deal. I just kind of zip tied them all kind of up tighty so they would be tighty until I knew where they had to go permanently. So this comes with an option of two different bumpers. Obviously we went with the traditional buggy bumper. It has the small kind of square bumper that the Wild Willie 2 has, and it also has that ginormous wide, you know, crash into anything bumper. Looks like a giant I-beam or something on it. So opted with the standard buggy body, buggy bumper on here. Looks much better and suits the car a whole lot better. But again, overall, it's just bone stock silver can motor in here, stock ESC, and my Spectrum 3-channel receiver. Now, I don't have the driver figure done. Paint still drying. I have the head painted, and I really like these little heads. The face is a completely separate piece, so you literally just paint the face, the flesh color, and then paint the little swoop of his hair, and then you just paint the helmet. So I just blasted the helmet in a gray. I don't remember what it was. I think this is the gunship gray, because it's kind of got that matte finish. So this is the gray edition Clodbuster gray. Just blasted that, and then all you have to do is paint the black around the surround and the bottom and everything, and you just snap his face in there, and it gives you perfect crisp lines all the way around. There's no little like shaky hand lines in there, so that's really nice. And his eyes are just stickers, so you can pick, I think it's like 5 or 6 different things. You can get sunglasses, blue eyes, brown eyes, and then like different like cartoony eyes you can put on there. So that's really a godsend, especially if you hate painting. Makes it a whole lot simpler. But the driver figure will go in here later. So I did get the body done as well. So one second. Well, there it is with the body on it. It's a really cool little buggy. I mean, I know some people don't like the comical ones because they're all squished and blobby. I love them. They're hysterical to me. Now, you do notice that the antenna tubes are sticking up. They have flags on them that will go on once the driver figure's in there and the body's on permanently. The body's easily removable, but with those flags on there, I don't want to keep dragging them through the body and all that stuff. And to get to the battery, you just pop out 2 clips back here. This piece comes off. You slide your battery in and out just like the Wild Willie. So, you know, I don't have to take the body on. So I will get the flags on here once the body is on there permanently. So the decals go on fairly well. There's a lot of links cut around and all that stuff. It's not too bad. The transition here is a little tricky, so basically I just cut the decals out completely and then got them positioned and then started applying the decals. So hopefully we got the overlaps right. They're good. They're not great. The trickiest one is this little guy here that goes from down here, up and around, and all the way to the back. Getting it lined up perfectly and around that hump in the body here, that was a pain. But we got it on there. It looks pretty good, and thankfully, most of any of your sins are going to be kind of hidden by the wing here. The one issue that I had goes around step 17, the rear body posts. So in step 17, you have the 2 side plates that go on that actually turn in, that have your posts that this little rear piece clips onto. And I'll put a picture up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then on the top goes the curved body post, and it has little square sockets, and on the bottom it has little light buckets. I didn't put lights on this right now. I can go back and put the lights on, but for right now, no lights. I don't really care. But the issue was, it just shows the curved body mount going right to the side of that battery door plate, and then the battery door plate going right to the side of the chassis. So in all reality, you have to have the chassis, the side plates with the battery door posts on there, and then on the parts tree there's about a 6 to 8 millimeter body post adapter that you have to put on, and then the body post itself, and use a longer, I think it was like a 20 millimeter screw, yeah, one of the 20 millimeter screws, to go through all that and mount to the chassis. Is if you don't, your body posts look like this when you go to put the body on, which was no bueno. I mean, they looked horrible. So basically putting those two adapters on, hopefully the camera will pick it up, is the body posts are nice and straight in there now. So for some reason, that's not shown in this step. Don't know why, but if you're building one of these, just know if your body posts are, you know, doing the splits, then put the adapters on. You do have some different addendums in here, so you have a full part sheet specifically for the Comical Hornet. So you do have part listing in the back for the WR2, but this has all the extras specific to this, plus any options for this. Then you have a setup sheet. So you basically, it's telling you you can rotate your tires, just take the left off the right off the left, switch them, and it'll change the scoop designs for different tractions. Probably not terribly effective because you're still just going to be cutting in with the same amount of edges. So I don't know why that's a big deal. Talking about tipping your shocks in. And this is the little addendum for mounting the driver. And it shows how to build the driver, and then actually the two different ways of mounting the driver. So there's the rider type and then the driver type. So it shows that a little bit clearer in there. And then of course you have the whole body thing of how to cut, paint, decal your body, and it also shows the driver figure in here of how to decal it specifically for this and mount it, which is the same as in here, but it is not the same as in the manual on step 26. Step 26, they still have you mounting a Wild Willie driver with a whole different setup. So just know that there's some oddities with the way this thing is built. You know, and again, it's nothing hard to figure out. It's just, you know, you have to kind of flip back and forth through the pages, because I got to the driver figure and I'm like, none of this makes sense. So like I said, guys, I'm going to end this off with just a photo montage and probably some turntable of the buggy with the driver figure in it and everything. And then later on, we'll get it outside for a run. But for right now, I just wanted to show you guys the cool little Comical Hornet. Everybody out there, you guys be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. See ya.